So what does this mean in the scheme of history? You know, is this like this huge, you know, confusing, one-of-a-kind things? No, it has a lot of parallels. So I was thinking to myself, how would we relate this and say, like, what would it hypothetically relate to if the United States had to go through something? Would it be like some part of Mexico splitting up and we had to send troops down in there? Or would it be like Cuba and the base that we have there? Yeah, it would be a little bit like Cuba, even though not to the extent. But, you know, you can prove the point even better, because the United States has less to lose if anything should destabilize Cuba and something happen with the military interests there. But regardless, the United States would definitely go in there, and who's anyone to say that they can't do that? They were going to go in there and throw into the mix, like, say if something was going on with Puerto Rico. The United States is not going to just give up Puerto Rico. They're not going to give up their whole system, their setup, their strategic arrangement down in the Caribbean. No, they're not going to do that. So the Russian interest is much more huge in the south part there. That's the south of their lands. And at their southern end, they are into the Black Sea, and the Black Sea goes through the isthmus there. It empties into the Aegean Sea, and that's connected with the Mediterranean, so it's just this whole passage to get down into there, and then the Suez Canal. They're allies with Iran, they're allies with Syria, they're allies with a lot of people. You know, they have an agreement with Egypt. They can go through there, they can get into the Indian Ocean then. All open, you know, that way, instead of going all the way around on the other side of Africa through the Atlantic. Sometimes they want to do that. It's about travel. It's about accessing quicker. And superiority these days is based upon air power, air force. That's because when the jets were created, supersonic, you know, all that kind of stuff with the missiles. See, it's really aeronautic. It's not just manned planes. It's like the missiles, the ICBMs, the satellite tracking stuff, and everything that's controlled in the skies, up in the atmosphere. You factor all of that in together, and there's where your superiority comes from. I mean, one glaring example is that, you know, in their biblical sense, that of David and Goliath. You know, there's David, which is modern state of Israel. How do they hold off the Goliath of all the warring, you know, manipulated Arab states around them? How? Well, their air force can kick anybody's ass. Hey, for Israel, you know. You know, this gives them nonstop reason for cheering and you know, confidence. So, but having said that, it doesn't mean that you can just throw out the navies with the bathwater. You can't do that. You still have to rule over the seas. And also you have the hybrid of aircraft carriers. That is a huge thing. You know, bringing that around, it's like it's a portable airport. Without that, how are you going to launch air attack from any given point offshore of any continent? You can't do it. So that's Navy. That's Navy in coordination with air power. There you go. There's my military analysis of the situation. I don't have a dog in this fight. You know, I just wanted to use that statement today. I don't particularly like that statement. I don't particularly favor dogs. They're not my best friend. But it's just basically saying, in a fancy, colloquial way, I'm not really inclined to take any sides here. I'm not going to gain anything either way, because spending most of my time with most of my time within the American empire sphere, yet there is not a lot of difference. If you can get along with one, you can get along with the other. If you don't like something about one, you also shouldn't like something about the other, because they have the same types of things. The more that you look at Russia and the Soviet bloc, you know, the communist, and also this includes China, even though they have great separation there. This whole sphere of influence compared to the sphere of influence of the democracies, you know, and NATO and under the UK, US, they have much more in common. Their militaries, like I just explained, act the same way pretty much. They want to set up that old style imperial, and it's old. It's been old for 100 or more years now. There's nothing new about the way to divide and conquer up the world, the entire planet Earth. So they have much more in common. So why am I going to take one side over the other? That's like, it's ridiculous, because you're not really making a choice. It's like choosing in the United States political system of voting, fake voting. Election is really selection. They're selected from above, from a secret, shadowy place. It's not public. It's not like the masses. It's not the American citizenry saying, I choose a Democrat or I choose a Republican. If you do, you're not getting anything, because both sides are the same. You haven't canceled out the other side and gained anything. So it's this double-edged sword that just goes around and does things the way it does. It's not like a new kind of system, a new paradigm, a new way of creating a superior empire that has singular unified force. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I side with. That's not going on here. That's not going on with World War III, the continuation of the hot Cold War. That's my point, and I really wanted you to understand that it's futile. That kind of patriotism is futile. The best thing that you can do, either as an American patriot or a Russian patriot or a Crimean or Ukrainian, the best thing that you can do is hope for an empire that's going to unify the world. That's it.